Hi guys, welcome back to Football Heaven 24/7. Yesterday I did a lot of episodes on celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Premier League. Um, and we went through a number of seasons. I think I did about the first 10 seasons of the Premier League campaign. So obviously I'm going to continue doing more of those today, get it up to date to last season 21 22 thousand, sorry, 2021-22 season. We'll get it up to that level, and then and then they'll go from there. So, but last night, Tuesday night, there was a ton of games in the Championship. Also, there was qualifying games to get into the Champions League group stage, and there was League One and League Two. But I'll concentrate on the Championship, League One and League Two results from Tuesday night. So, going into the evening, Birmingham was playing at home to Watford. Birmingham took an early lead from through Hall. I can't even say it through Hall on the 19th minute. Sema got a goal back for Watford on the 63rd minute. That game ended 1-1 between Birmingham and Watford. Then it was Bristol City versus Luton Town. Luton Town had not won at Bristol City for a year. I think once in like 16 visits or something crazy. Bristol City won 2-0. Goals from Naki Wells and Conway, a young lad that's come through the Bristol City youth system. Burnley were then playing Hull. Hull have been on really good form this season so far, and they're up near the top half of the table, in the top three of the table. And they scored early on a goal from one of their new signings from Turkey. Tufan scored on the 25th minute, and then Jay Rodriguez, the local Burnley lad, scored the equaliser for Burnley on the 34th minute to make that finish 1-1 in that game. So, I kind of at the start of that game, I thought it was going to be a 1-1 draw. But anyway, I don't know. Many people probably would have gone for Burnley, thinking that Burnley would win that. But anyway, we'll go further into it. So anyway, Norwich City, they were right down the bottom of the table. They'd had a really poor start to the season. I think they'd had a draw and two defeats in the first three games. The fourth game of the season, they finally got a win to get themselves out the relegation area. An early goal on by Sargent on the 6th minute, and then a second goal by Sinani on the 16th minute put Norwich 2-0 up in the game. But then Huddersfield came back, and a goal from Jones on the 81st minute gave Huddersfield some hope about 9 minutes before the end of the game. But Norwich held out to get the first 3 points of the season and win that game 2-1. So that got Norwich on track for the start of for the season. Preston were then playing Rotherham at home, and that finished 0-0. Queens Park Rangers was on Sky Sports against Blackpool. I watched the game. It was pretty boring. The best attacking team was overall Blackpool. QPR were missing their main player, Chrissy Willock. Great player for them. He was out a bit of injury. I think he'll be back on Saturday against Rotherham, but we'll have to wait and see. That game was won by a goal on the stroke of half time from Josh Bowler on 45 minutes. Curling effort from just outside the box, just inside the box, even. So yeah, that was that. And then the final game of the championship last night, there was a bit of drama within the first minute. Swansea took the lead through Manning, virtually straight from the kickoff. And then they went 2-0 ahead when Obafemi scored on the 13th minute. So obviously Swansea were 2-0 up at half time, which looked good for them. But some craziness happened in the final minutes of injury time right at the end of the game. On the 93rd minute, Cabango, the defender for Swansea, scored an own goal. And in the 95th minute, Wood Gordon scored on the 95th minute an own goal as well. So Millwall came from 2-0 down to draw 2-2. So that ended that result that way. So when we look at the table for the Championship at the moment, it's still looking good for a number of teams that have started the season well. Blackburn Rovers are top, and they've still got to play tonight against Reading away, and I predict that they will beat Reading 3-1. Hull City are lying in second after their draw at Burnley, and in the playoff places you've got Watford, Millwall, Cardiff City, and Preston. Blackpool went all the way up to fifth with their surprise win away at Queens Park Rangers after not a great start to the season. And in the relegation zone at the moment, surprisingly, it's West Bromwich Albion and Luton, who were in the playoffs last year. West Brom, who were one of the favourites to get promoted this year, and Coventry City, who I had as my surprise package at the start of the season. But it's early days. Coventry City haven't played a couple of games. I think they're going to get fined 3 points, maybe more than that, because there's been problems with their pitch, which has caused a lot of issues, which means that, yeah, ultimately a few games have been not played by Coventry the last 2 games. So, including the game they were meant to play against Wigan last night at home. So, anyway, we'll go from the Championship. We'll go straight into League One and what happened with League One's games last night on the Tuesday night. Barnsley was playing against Bristol Rovers. Bristol Rovers were on a fantastic run, but Barnsley dominated this game. They got 2 early goals from Devante Cole on the 3rd minute, Williams on the 13th, Benson on the 56th minute, and they won that convincing, like I say, 3-0. Bolton beat Morecambe Wanderers 1-0, a goal from Sonny Bradley on the 39th minute, and there's a good attendance there, 17,165. Ipswich kept up their good run, keeping them top of the League One table with a 1-0 win away at Burton Albion. Harness scored, the guy that came on, I believe, from Portsmouth. Charlton absolutely smashed Plymouth Argyle, although I should say, big shout out to the Green Army, quite a long way for them to travel. They brought 1,160 fans, which is very impressive for a League One team to bring. But they get absolutely smashed 5-1, like I say. Goals from Raksaki, I can't even say his name right, on the 11th minute. Penalty from Stockley on the 41st minute. Darrell Clare scored on the 45th minute. Kirk scored on the 78th minute. And Lee Burn scored on the 84th minute. Just before that 5th goal went in from Charlton, Plymouth did get a goal back from Whittaker, but as I say, as we know from the result, it wasn't enough. So Charlton had a fantastic night last night. That was a crowd of 12,000 odd at that game as well. Exeter continued to surprise in their game last night. They smashed nearly relegated Wycombe Wanderers 3-1. Well, not nearly. They got relegated the season before last, but they got a decent team, but they absolutely smashed them. Goals from Kirk, Collins and Dieng put Exeter in charge. Wheeler got a goal back for Wycombe, but obviously to no avail. Fleetwood drew 0-0 with Cheltenham. Forest Green and Accrington Stanley got postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. MK Dons finally got off to winning ways. They got 2 goals from Bradley Johnson to help them beat Port Vale 2-1. A goal back from Ellis Harrison for Port Vale. Oxford had a surprise defeat from Lincoln, who had a bit of a slow start to the season. Goals for Lincoln from Hopper and Scully, the main strikers for them. And Brannigan got a penalty back for Oxford United. So quite a good win there for Lincoln. And then you got Peterborough against Sheffield Wednesday. Peterborough won 2-0. Goal from Clark Harris and Jake Taylor got the goals that allowed Peterborough to get a great win against Sheffield Wednesday last night. And then the final 2 games of League One had Portsmouth beating the Cambridge 4-1. Goals from Bishop, Curtis, Jacobs and Oglivie. And Ironside got a goal back for Cambridge, but obviously Portsmouth smashed them 4-1 in the end. And Derby had a bit of a stuttering start to League One campaign since they got relegated from the Championship. They drew 0-0 away at Shrewsbury Town. So a bit of not a great result for them, but Shrewsbury continued to pick up some good results, having beaten Wycombe on the Saturday 2-1 away from home. Going into League Two, looking at League Two now, Barrow beat Walsall. Goals from Warren and McClellan put them 2-0 up. Danny Johnson, who basically was frozen out by another team. He's on loan at Walsall, got a goal. It's his 5th goal of the season. He's the top goal scorer in League Two. But Barrow obviously won that game 2-1. And then Colchester, after a slow start, they got a goal right on the 90th minute from Eastman to win 1-0 at home to Bradford City. Crawley Town and Northampton was a really good game. Crawley started off with a early 1-0 lead on the 4th minute. 2 goals back from Hoskins on the 13th and the 23rd put Northampton 2-1 up. Then Crawley got an equaliser on the 61st minute. And then on the 90th minute, the drama right at the end, Northampton snatched it with a 3-2 victory. So great result for Northampton. They're continuing to do well after building on the 4th place that they had last season. Crewe just come down from League One. They're on a flyer at the moment. They're up in the playoff areas. They beat Sutton United 1-0 at home. Baker Richardson scored for them. Doncaster Rovers got a 2-1 victory against Stockport. Goals from Miller and Agard. Agard scored on the 90th minute as well, right near the end. So yeah, great result for them. Harrogate also got a fantastic result away at Gillingham. Goals from Daly and Patterson allowed them to win 2-0 away at Gillingham. Grimsby and Carlisle, like the Forest Green game, it got called off in the first half for a waterlogged pitch. There's a lot of rain, obviously, last night, especially up in the north of England, northeast, and in the southwest, by the sounds of it. Hartlepool had a bit of a boring 0-0 draw at home to Tranmere. Shock, well, not really shock of the night, but Wimbledon took a 2-0 lead in their game away at Mansfield. Two goals from Josh Davison on the 4th and the 16th minute. But then Mansfield started to fight back. They got 2 goals back in the first half from Oates and Lapsley, and that put it back to 2-2. And then 3 goals in the second half from Maris, Haboti, and Swan allowed Swansea to win that one 5-2. So absolutely smashed them. Good turnaround there by Mansfield. Mansfield are up there in the playoff areas as well. Newport was playing at home to Salford. Salford continued their good run and they won that game 3-2. Stevenage won 1-0 against Rochdale, and Swindon Town drew 1-1 with Leyton Orient. 2 early goals from McCurdy and a goal from Smith for Leyton Orient. So after the League One and the League Two games, just looking at the tables, if you're looking into League One right now, there's still Ipswich Town's at the top of that table, and then you've got other teams up there in the shape of. So in the 2 promotion places, it's Ipswich Town and Peterborough. Not really much of a surprise. Ipswich have strengthened their team over the last few seasons, got good owners. Peterborough obviously got a good manager in Grant McCann, and they're in the second place. In the playoff places in League One at the moment, currently after 4 games played, it's Portsmouth, Bolton, Exeter, and Charlton Athletic. And then looking at the table for the League Two after last night's games, you've got Salford City at the top, which will make Gary Neville happy, which he never is, with Manchester United obviously being so bad at the moment. Leyton Orient are in second. They're having a great season so far. And Northampton are in third. And in the playoff places, you've got Stevenage, Barrow, Crewe, and Doncaster. So they're the teams that are flying at the moment. It's early days. There's still a lot of games to go. You're looking at in the Championship, League One and League Two, you're looking at still another 42 games for most of those teams to play. So a lot can happen in that time. Teams that are at the bottom of the table can end up getting promoted. So you just don't know how it's going to pan out. But that's my review of all last night's football. There are, like I said, a couple of games tonight. I've said Blackburn to beat Reading 3-1 on the Wednesday night Championship games. There's 3 more games in the Championship as well. You've got Sheffield United playing at home to Sunderland. Sheffield United, I'm going to go for to win that one 2-1. Stoke against Middlesbrough, I'm going to go for Middlesbrough to win 2-1. And then we've got West Bromwich Albion against Cardiff. I'm going for a 2-2 draw in that game. So that's my predictions for that. In the conference, Solihull Moors are playing York City on BT. York have had a good start to the season. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to York in that game. It's a bit of a shock result, as Solihull are quite an informed team in the conference at the moment. So that's my review of last night's football. I'll do some more videos today and tomorrow. I'll be covering celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Premier League by obviously reviewing seasons gone by. What I do is 3 seasons, usually an episode. So we're currently up to season, I believe, 2002-03 at the moment. So it'd be interesting to see what. 2004-05 season even. So there's a changing of the guard, as mainly up until that point, Manchester United and Arsenal have dominated the Premier League, but there's to become a surprise, well, not a surprise newcomer, but there's a changing of the tide coming from a West London club, which I think most of you can guess who that is. Keep in touch, keep liking and subscribing, keep commenting on the videos. Appreciate your feedback, appreciate your support. Get your friends and family involved. We do a lot of different things, a lot more interesting than a lot of the trash that's out there. But I won't say who that is. Have a great week. All the best. Bye for now. This has been Football Heaven 24/7.